goes for me. How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know what it is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast, sponsored by Dark Fusion System. The best from your custom computing needs, whether you need a custom computer for gaming, PC, creative, music, business, you name it, they will build the best custom PC for you. You get $100 off your entire bill. Use code CPPod at darkfusionsystems.com. Link to the podcast below. So thank you guys. Now on our feature presentation, we have the guys from the band The Failsafe on the podcast today. They've got a brand new song called Dying to Exist, which we talk about. Go check it out. But we also talk about where the band came from, how they came to be, and if you are a growing band, why is it important to just take a chance on working with a good producer? Trust me, we make a strong case for it, and it's worth it. You guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast, this band right here reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, we got a brand new single coming out on May 24th. Why don't you check it out, give it a listen, see what you think about it. It was produced by Andrew Bales, who's also produced for Bad Omens, Our Last Night, and Seven Dust, and see what you think of it. Well, I listened to it, and this is what I said. 1, we got to talk about this on the podcast, and 2, I know one of those DJs at Octane. I'm going to send him this song and let's see what happens. So by the time you listen to this episode, by the time it's out, this song will already be out. So go make sure you listen to it. The song is called Dying to Exist. The band is called The Failsafe. And here with us today are Devin and Jess from the band. So gentlemen, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Dude,
hell yeah.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for being here, guys. And also, thank you so much for reaching out and being like, hey, check out this new music because, well, then I get to know more new music and maybe get to be like, oh, I got something before everyone else does. Let's push this one. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's exactly what happened.
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
So we're going to make it happen. But the first thing I want to ask you guys is, I was trying to do as much research as I possibly could on the band. And pretty much what I found about you guys were like, it's for fans of like Bring Me the Horizon, Bad Omens, I Prevail. I threw Catch Your Breath in there as well to kind of add a little bit more to it. But really besides that, I'm like, the only history I really found you guys, like, you guys released Dying to Exist on May 24th. So give me the backstory of the Failsafe. Like, let's get people into the lore that is Failsafe.
Okay, so we'll go into the origin story here. Okay,
Yeah.
So 3 of our members, basically all the members that are not named Devin, we were in a band before in Minneapolis, Minnesota, called the Phoenix Philosophy. It's like a pop rock electronica piece. We had a guy singer, a chick singer, like it was just everything. And it just ended up kind of fizzling out. The guitar player, she wanted to do something else and kind of pursue different things. The 3 of us, we still wanted to make music together. So literally like the next day we started working on the Failsafe. We decided the difference was instead of, giving a little bit of this, that, and the other, we're just going to pick a fucking lane and we're just going to go in it. We're going to be rock. We're going to hit you in the face and we're going to fucking do it.
How'd you guys record everything again?
And yeah, that's the other thing. So we basically were just kind of demoing things. Our drummer's an engineer, so he has a little studio. We demoed. We had a 3-song demo right away. I started learning how to use a camera in Adobe Premiere and Photoshop, and we had a photo shoot and a fucking music video, a couple of them, because we were just trying to make all this stuff work. And before we knew it, we're on stage probably like 5 months later playing a full set. We released an album 5 months after that. And we've just been going. That was 2019, so we've been kind of going.
How much of it was DIY before my time?
Everything was DIY except for one single that we worked with a producer on. Everything was in-house. Everything was done by us. And it got to the point where we're trying to compete on the national level. And like, we need the same tools everyone else is using. So we started checking out different producers. And we ran into Andrew Bales, which you mentioned. Great dude, and some really cool producers and songwriters in Nashville. We went down there, spent a full week down there.
Yeah, it was a week.
And just cranked out some songs. And the first to come out is Dying to Exist, which you mentioned. So this is 2024. We have our new logo. We have the new songs. We have new videos. We have new everything. So we're really excited to just launch this and kind of start over. But before that, I mean, we've toured, we've played a lot, and the other thing I guess I'll mention too is I live in South Carolina now. I used to live in Minneapolis. He used to live in North Dakota, and the band still lives there. So we're kind of, edges of the country or different parts of the country, I should say. So we just get together. When we grind, we tour. We get our practices in, we get our songwriting or recording everything, or we'll just fly to a certain state and record with a certain person or a video shoot. Like we just came back from doing a little tour and shooting a video in the Midwest. And then before that, we did the video for Dying to Exist. We just flew out to Milwaukee and did that. So there's a lot of getting a lot of miles. Yeah. A lot of points from being in this band, for sure.
I'd say there's only one. I want to add to that. There's only one thing that living so far apart makes difficult. It's hard to have like a home base where you can like really hammer, but
yeah,
I'd say other than that, it kind of keeps everybody really productive.
It does, because at the time we get together, we all know that, hey, this is limited time. Let's just grind. Let's just produce, and let's just get our shit going. Otherwise, I'd say like every time we go back to Minneapolis, it's a hometown. Like we had a sellout show on a Thursday night when we played there. Like when in my old band, when I was in town, like on Thursday, like I wouldn't want to take shows Thursday. We called those suicide shows.
You called this one a suicide show.
I did. It's a suicide show. Don't worry, it's gonna suck. But then they proved me wrong. So
yeah, I was like, dude, let's use that Friday for a new market.
Yeah, so it was cool. But yeah, that's kind of the backstory. Just, three of us who want to continue making music. We decided to pick a lane, and this, like, by doing so, I feel like we actually got more diehard fans than we did before. Because everyone before was like, oh, they're good.
There's a niche picked out.
Yeah, they wouldn't be offended if they saw us. But now it's like we have a niche, we have a direction, we have a lane, and people are able to get behind it.
Say, before we jump into any of this from my perspective, there's one thing that just stood out to me when you're talking about Dying to Exist and filming the video in Milwaukee. Where in Milwaukee did you film this? Because that is literally where I'm sitting right now.
What?
Whoa. Oh my God. So there was...
What was it called? It wasn't Milwaukee exactly.
It was like a suburb of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It wasn't far from the
airport. It wasn't. It was like right next to the airport. And it was like this park. It was like a auto repair garage that they converted into.
Oh, I remember. I was like, did we just get fucked?
Yeah. We were like, what the hell is this place?
We pulled up and I'm like, which building is it?
Yeah. This one, like, oh shit. But we opened up the door and there was like lights and all this cool shit. Like, okay, this is awesome. Props. Yeah, so
it's awesome.
It was probably about 10 minutes outside of Milwaukee, like right next to the airport.
Okay, if it's right next to the airport, I'm thinking it's either like Cudahy, St. Francis, or Oak Creek, one of the three.
It's let me see.
Did it start with there's a town with an H in there at all? I don't know. I'm remembering an H.
I'm checking the map.
We're gonna find this out for you while you're talking.
Yeah, just because I would like when you brought up Milwaukee, I'm like, okay, now I'm even more curious about this. And then you brought Minneapolis, who was your home base, and I'm just thinking, shit, I lived there for 3.5 years and I went to college, so it's like now I'm even more connected with you guys than I ever thought I was going to be.
Which college you go to down there?
What was that?
Which college you go to up there?
University of Minnesota. So I went to the Twin Cities.
Shit, dude, yeah, I used to play Kitty Cat Club back in the day.
Oh my God!
Fucking Honeybee down off of Hennepin, like we did First Ave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of places over there,
dude.
You lost it. You can't remember.
I can't remember. Oh,
it might have been Oak Creek.
Oak Creek sounds familiar.
It sounds like, I don't know. It was kind of industrial, and there was like a bunch of like auto places and like places to repair cars and tow trucks and stuff like that.
We better figure it out, or what's his name's gonna get mad.
Eddie.
You don't remember?
Yeah, she's sorry, I don't remember.
Well, I mean, at least I gave like 3 like little areas around the airport that are going to be possible to like, okay, check this out. So at least people have a direction of where to go.
maybe it's better we don't know, so we keep that spot a secret.
Yeah,
exactly.
Spot. Like, exactly. I think Archer's shot there. Who else?
Shout out Eddie. That dude rules. I like that guy a lot.
Yeah, Eddie is a cool dude. He's local to the area, and he does a lot of bands out there. So
high tiered videos.
Yeah,
I'm saying I have to go and find this Eddie guy now. Just given the fact that it's like, okay, and then you brought up Archer's film with him. I literally released a podcast Archer's like the week before we shot this one. So like, it's like I'm making the rounds, baby.
Yeah, like Archer shot there versus me, I think, was the other band that shot there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then there's like just other randoms that I don't even remember, but there was like, oh, that was big. So
there was there's a story too when we were all flying up, because we all flew up to do the shoot.
Yeah.
And we had a layover in Atlanta, so we're flying out of Myrtle Beach to Milwaukee. All right, and then we get to Atlanta, we hang out for a little while, and then we get on our connecting flight. We get to Milwaukee, and then we go to get baggage claim. And I brought my bass with, so we sat around the rotary thing, what's it called?
The carousel.
The carousel. Yeah, baggage.
And we waited for every single thing, and I was like, oh, maybe just the big stuff is at the end, right? So we were waiting for the bigger stuff. The golf clubs come out, and then the hockey pads come out. I'm like, okay, my bass is coming up. And then there's nothing, and we sit around for another 5 minutes, and I'm about to have a meltdown, like, really? And then I asked the baggage claim. They're like, oh, your bass? That's in Atlanta. I'm so sorry.
They just forgot it.
Yeah.
Just sitting on the runway.
and I stretched the truth a little bit, but I was like, I have a gig like tomorrow. I need my bass. Is there anything that you could do? And they're like, well, we could ship it. And I was like, again, gig. And they said, well, there's another flight out of Atlanta here in the morning. We'll put the bass on that one. And they did. So on the way to the shoot, the plane got in. So
we had to go back to the airport and pick it up really quick.
Yeah, we got it super quick. I had Chad bring an extra bass just in case something like that would happen, but I wanted to do a bass spin really bad, and I wanted to like do something nuts with my bass at least, and I wasn't about to do that with somebody else's guitar.
Yeah.
But it all worked out. So you can see it in the very beginning. There's a bass spin, and that wouldn't have happened, even though it's like half a second. I had my heart set on learning how to do a bass spin just for the video.
You got to put the bass spin in there. You got to make it cool. You got to make it stand out. But it's also very respectful too that you don't want to try something like that with someone else's instrument. If it's because something might go wrong, and you'd rather have that happen to your stuff than someone else's stuff, because then there's that like, oh, you messed up my stuff, or you messed up my bass, messed up my guitar. And then there's some animosity that just comes in there. No. But if you mess up, it's like, you messed up your own shit, man. That's on you.
Yeah. Yep. Especially, I don't want that in our band and all that stuff too. And literally right before, I had never done one, and right before we did it, like, he showed me a video on his cell phone. Here's the last shoot from the same studio of a band doing a bass spin, and it flew. So, do you really want to do this? Is it worth it? Is it really going to make the difference? And I'm like, yes.
We're fucking spinning that bass. We don't give a shit.
We're spinning the shit out of that bass.
That's dedication right there. One thing that did stand. I'll say one thing about your backstory that really stood out to me was when you're talking about your previous iteration or the previous band that you were in, where it was just kind of like you were there and you had an idea and you just kind of went off and did whatever you felt like. And it was somewhere people were not mad about seeing you play live, but it was something where people like were driven to see you play live on a Thursday night to go sell out a show in Minneapolis. But when it came to forming the Failsafe and really figuring out, you found a direction that you wanted to go in that really spoke to you. You honed in on it and then went down that path where, of course, you can still have the freedom to develop your music off of that and really branch out. But you want to find where that core sound, where that core voice was going to come from, you guys, and hone in on that to build off of that so that people could connect with the band. People could really get into it instead of just thinking, oh, it's a band that makes music like that. There's a song like this or a song like this. Like, no, we know what the Failsafe is. We know what the sound is like. We are connected with it. And then wherever they go off of that, we know that that message and that core sound is still at the base of whatever they do.
Yeah, you nailed it. And I want to shout out Bayless for that reason is like, we had it so far as to how we wanted to sound, but there's still like a vision where we wanted it. And he's like, he nailed it.
Yeah, he like knew like
what we wanted the Failsafe to be is what these new songs.
Yeah, just spending the time with us, he like kind of found out like my vocal strengths. So like he like Dying to Exist was like right in my perfect range, and everything, all the parts we were working on writing, everything just fit perfectly.
It was almost like he heard our songs and he's like, I don't know what you're trying to do. Check this out. Yeah.
But he's like, this dude is a wizard. He was just like, just really just glance at everything and just know exactly what to do. It's like, holy shit. Okay.
Every time we got stuck, we just think about it, listen to the song over and over and over. And everybody like felt out each other's ideas. It was
Yeah.
like super respectful and professional. And like, so I will say there's been some producers I've been around who have been like not that way. So that was really cool. It was amazing.
I mean,
For sure.
I'll say that's the mark of a high quality producer and a producer that really understands the vision that you're going for. Because last year around this time, I actually got a chance to bring Joey Sturgis onto the podcast, which was just absolutely insane. But talking with him about the whole entire idea around producing music for other bands, you have to understand where the band's vision is, where their sound is. And as a producer, it's their responsibility to not only bring that out better in the overall recording and the mix, but to amplify that so everyone understands where it's coming from. And of course, I've had other producers on the podcast too, outside of Joey. I've had guys like Sahaj from Ra, who produces for a lot of bands. I've had him on.
That was the guy that produced. That was the one other producer we worked with.
Yeah.
Oh, I love talking to Sahaj. He's one hell of a guy. And then I've had, I even had, of course, Justin DeBleek on, who now produces for Motionless in White. I had Shaylee from Dayshell on, who literally did the whole entire production tandem style on Dayshell's last album with Joey Sturgis. We talked about all this stuff where so much of like what makes a great band even better is not only having like a great producer, but it's a producer that absolutely understands what you're trying to go for, is like living in your head basically to know what the sound is, know where your strengths are to amplify that sound, and then to bring them out so that when you hear that recording, it's like, holy shit, I didn't even believe that I could give that powerful performance, but here it is. Like, I can do this. And it's all brought out and people fully can embrace it and understand it because you guys created and your producer was able to amplify that message even more so than you thought was possible. So going back to the DIY roots that you started out in and said, we want to compete with some of these more national acts, we want to compete larger, you're using the tools at your disposal. Of course, there's going to be some money costs in there, but at times you have to make those sacrifices in order to give your dreams a shot, because if you're not willing to make sacrifice like that, either you're going to have to learn like hell to make this work for yourself, or you're just going to kind of just sit and potentially go by the wayside.
Yeah, you'll just kind of spin in circles and maybe you'll make some strides or take some steps back out of frustration. But yeah, It's like, for example, when we worked with Sahaj on Ghost to You, which was the reason why we're like, okay, we're going to do the producer thing again.
Yeah.
Because before we never did until then. I learned more in 4 days of spending with him than I did in like 4 years or 10 years of working on music. And just funny things. He told us a story that he used to have this picture of like this like Warcraftian looking wizard dude on his wall. And he basically said, while lyric writing, you look at that guy. If that guy is going to say that, then those lyrics suck. Like if he's basically like, if that guy, he's like wizard, warlock, look at him.
Yeah.
Would he say that? He would, wouldn't he? No, that sucks. And he just roast you.
Do you remember any lines?
It was hilarious.
Was there any lines that came up? That was...
Oh, Chad had some good ones. He's like the cauldron of poison is my soul. Or he's like, wizard. Or some shit. It was funny because like we ended up rewriting this whole, like I had this song that I worked on for a year. And I was like, oh, this is good. And we actually recorded it as a band, just DIY. We're like, yeah, this is pretty sweet. But what if Sahaj had this? And what if he could do something better? And he picked that song out of demos to do. And I'm like, oh, man, I've been cranking this vocal melody for a year. This is great. He hears the whole thing. He's like, we're scratching all of that. We're rewriting all this shit. And I'm like, fuck, fair enough. And I'm glad he did because it turned out way better than what I had. I thought what I had was bombed for like a year. I'm like, oh, I'm sitting on goal. I can't wait to drop this in the perfect spot. And it was shit compared to what he had and like what he was coming up with us. And we all sat in a circle and we just rewrote all the lyrics, everything as a band. And it was a really cool experience. But yeah, I learned a shit ton. And yeah, it was just funny that what was top tier for me, this guy blew away in like 30 seconds. I was like, damn.
But that's the beauty of working with another producer, though, working with someone that has the experience and has an outside idea. Because from your perspective, Jesse, when you're living so much within that song and you're living so heavily within it and working on it for a year, you're going to be so embedded into the idea of it where there's going to be things that come up. There's going to be lyrics that absolutely make sense to you in your mind. But then when you look back at it and you have someone looking at it from an outside perspective, they're going to go like Sahaj and say, is the Warlock going to say that? And if he is, that's going to suck.
Yeah, like, pretty much. Like,
we will be the gatekeeper to the portals of joy. It's like, no, that is terrible.
I've got to say, I love that this topic came up because I remember being like, before knowing what I know now, doing what I've done already, I always thought producer, people I feel like when you don't, if you're not a musician, a producer just sounds like somebody who records you. When really, I think that's what an engineer is for.
Yeah.
Is somebody who just records mixes. But I think if you produce, that's more of a coach, right?
It's more about having like a sixth member in the band or a fifth member or whatever.
Yeah, who can really help you get your shit together and kind of pull the best parts out of you. And
I think it does take a certain person to be able to take that too. Like I can't tell you how many musicians who, some guy that's not in their band telling them, hey, you need to change this or update this and this sucks. Like they'll just shut them out and to their own detriment. Like for me, I remember the band was like telling me like, that's really cool that you basically had this whole song idea for a year you're working on and it got destroyed and rebuilt and you're completely cool with them. Like, yeah, absolutely. I'm here for the best product possible. Like, I don't give a shit who, like, if it helped come from a producer or whatever, like I want the best song. And if my idea wasn't the best, then it wasn't the best. So
I'm actively trying to, I feel like we all actively try to not, try to go big picture really with it. Try to not be so like there's more that like a certain part in a song, there's no part in a song that's so important. Like if it sucks, it sucks, it's a part of it. Don't get married to the songs until they're
done.
Yeah, because if you stay married to a song so heavily, then like we said, you're going to have producers that come up with ideas that just are going to try to amplify it and potentially change it for the better. But if you're so fixated on what you wrote or so fixated on what you created, thinking that this is the best thing possible, then it could very well be to the detriment of the overall product because you're working with someone who is connected with you, working with someone who wants to bring out the best in you, and they're thinking about it. And you have to have the open mind to think, okay, is this what actually is going to work? Yes or no? And even if it's not the best idea, at least think about it. Give it a shot because you never know where it could go further. I remember talking with Joey Arena from Outlier, who works with Justin DeBleek from former guitarist of Ice Nine Kills, producer Motionless in White. Always with the vocals, it's like he'll do vocal tracks, and if he thinks one is great, but all of a sudden Justin's like, no, I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe what you're singing. I don't believe the message you're putting out there. Even though he thinks the best, he will push this guy to the freaking limit to get that take where it's like, now I actually believe what you're singing. I actually believe the message you're putting out there. Because if you can make the producer believe what you're in and he's able to amplify it, the rest of the music community that's going to be listening to your stuff is going to be believing in it. It's the ability to have that open mind in a creative space where you're basically creating something that is part of you, and having the open-mindedness and the freedom to allow someone else to take a listen to it and see, okay, is this actually going to hit the way you want it to hit? Is there a way we can make it hit even better? Or is it just good enough? Is it good the way it is? And there's a couple of things we can do to make it even better, or do we have to change it? Having that open mind, especially when you're working with professionals, is such a huge key. And it's something that I think a lot of bands that think that they're ready to go for the big time or they want to compete with those national acts should definitely do a song or two with a big, like a producer that actually knows what they're doing. Because you're, like you guys said, you learn so much more from Sahaj in 4 days than you had an entire lifetime of trying to work on music.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's quick.
Imagine how many other great like rock and metal bands, even musical artists anywhere, would be so much further and so much better with their songwriting and song creation and overall music like endeavors had they done something like that, like what you guys did.
Yeah. I see it a lot. And like, I've seen bands who I've known for years and you're kind of still doing the same thing. It's like, man, imagine if they went to one of these guys and those guys brought the best out of them and see what would happen. It would be crazy.
It would be nuts. I mean, I really wish we would see more people try it like you guys did, because take a look at given the fact that being independent and trying all these things on your own, it's very possible. And if you have someone in the band that can produce the ever-loving shit out of music, absolutely work in the house. Why not? But why not give it a shot one time or twice to see if that's what's going to be best for your music? There are so many times in life where it's like, it's easy to play it safe. This is actually kind of playing it safe because, it might cost some money. But if you do it once or twice to see how it works, if it doesn't work for you, But if it works for you and your band does well with it, now you're thinking with dollars. You're not thinking with pennies.
Exactly.
At least it's educational. Like if it's a negative, if you don't get the songs you want, you're gonna learn something.
Yeah.
There's always value. I think. Unless you paid somebody that has never produced a song a bunch of money.
Or even just to say, hey, I worked with a guy who produced Jelly Roll or, Seven Dust or whatever, like I can say that. That's cool.
It's kind of a cool novelty, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's a cool novelty. I mean, people don't know the producer names, which I feel like they should, because it's like, these guys made the artists like way different.
Yeah, it changes your perspective on music. Like when a new single comes out and it hits, you're like, who produced that?
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing you think.
Yeah, that's what I think now. It's different. I'm like, who the fuck did they work with?
What's his rate?
Yeah. Because like some songs you can kind of hear it now. I heard it with Chaotic on Memphis Mayfire. I'm like, is that a fucking Bayless song? No.
It's Bayless's understudy song who like helped write or mix our stuff.
I was like, dude, that's either Bayless or Cam, because there's no way.
And sure enough, it was Cam.
It was Cam.
Yeah.
Cam and their guitar player, I think their guitar player is a whiz of a music producer. What's his name again?
Shoot, I can't even remember. Usually when it comes to Memphis Mayfire, I'm like Matty Mullins in the gang. That's what I remember.
There you go.
They're all geniuses, but I know that the one guy on there, his production abilities are freaking nuts.
Yeah.
I'll think of it. It'll sound tip my tongue
randomly during this podcast.
Yeah. But I know. I'll say I know what you mean. I'm the same way too now. It's like there's certain times where music comes out and I hear it's like produced by somebody, or I recently had a discussion with Adam from Oceano and they're going to be coming out with new music. He's like, yeah, they produced it all in house, but it was mixed up and mastered by Joey Sturgis. And I'm just like, motherfucker, now I know this is going to be some good stuff, but like, I can't get this now. Like it got me more excited for more new Oceano music, just based off the knowledge that I know that they not only like, I know what they are capable of, but now I know that someone is able to like, who works on this stuff so incessantly, so like, and know how he works too. I'm like, God damn, I cannot wait to hear this stuff. So once again,
I did that same thing with the Our Last Night. They shared a story in the studio and it was like the same place that we were. And I'm like, oh my God, that's, I cannot wait to hear what they
Speaking of Sturgis, shout out to Christian Sturgis, Joey's wife.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did some songwriting with her because we're kind of trying to feel it out again, trying to get that Sahaj magic. We ended up landing on Bayless, but we worked on a song together, and I actually talked to Joey about it, and he kind of like just did some fine tuning on the demo and everything for us. That was nice of him, and I got to meet him too. It was crazy. We met them and Catch Your Breath in the same night. It was kind of cool.
At a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
I just remember like I was some people at the bar. I was talking to them, and then Teddy walked up, and I was like, "Excuse me, you're officially the hot chick at the bar now."
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny as shit.
I like playing that show. We should do something in Detroit again.
That was a good time, man. Get back over there.
I didn't expect to meet Joey Sturgis there.
Yeah, we had a little picture with him and fanboyed a little bit. And
I didn't want to be the one to ask for a picture, and I'm glad Chad did.
Yeah, Chad has no shame.
I was like, I'm not asking him for shit. I'm about doing nothing because I'm too.
But it sounds like he's kind of in the mixing and mastering thing and doing his plugins and shit like that. I don't think he said he's not really taking on a lot of projects for production anymore.
No, I think honestly it's because one of his big things when I'm talking about him, it's with the plugins, with trying to get people to produce music and like create music on their own and giving them the absolute ability and to help teach them how to do this stuff. That's really where a lot of his passion lies. So mixing and mastering really helps out with that. Of course, he'll do some production work too. Like, again, last year, I know he produced the new Conquer Divide record. I know he produced Shaley from Day Shell's record. He'll take on a couple of projects here and there, but I just, given where he's at in life right now, he can pick and choose exactly who he wants to work with. And he's usually working with people that he's so closely connected with because, again, that's where the passion lies. And he's just doing things that he absolutely loves at this point, which you can't fault the man for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish I could do that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get so many emails from Joey Sturgis. I'm like, I get all these emails where your plug is, but you never text me, how you doing, Jesse? Not once.
Dude, I get so many messages from like his Instagram stuff. It's like new plugin, like plugin giveaway. I'm like, dude, I record podcasts. I don't record music. I wish I did because I would totally take advantage of this, but I just can't.
I do gotta hand it to him. He's got his entrepreneurial shit on lock.
Yeah.
So
he absolutely does. But instead of just plugging all these great producers like Sahaj, Andrew, of course, Joey Sturgis, let's plug you guys a lot more with the brand new song, Dying to Exist. That is the transition for you motherfuckers. So, Dying to Exist, of course, I've gone through the whole song. One of my favorite things to talk about is what inspired you guys to write a song like this? Really getting deep. What was the overall like thought process, not only creating it, but overall lyrically, the message and the meaning behind it? Because I went and I looked at that too, and I tried thinking about it, and I got my take on it, but I was to see how close am I to you guys?
Honestly,
new first for sure.
It's more simple than you think.
Okay.
Spill all the beans, though.
Yeah, basically, and I think I've said this in one of our promo videos, but the song is dedicated to anybody who needs to be heard. And when we came, that's the whole theme, is you want to be heard, and you're going through all this shit to be heard. And when we went to Bayless, I said, we want to write a killer opener for our set. And we want to blow the doors off. And we want to be fucking heard.
Dude, we said we want to try to not make another breakup song because we keep making breakup music.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, we won't make any breakup music.
I mean, we dropped a couple references in there.
Yeah.
Talking about like just all the fucking turmoil of just wanting to fucking be heard and be understood. And that's what the song is essentially about. It's about living in this crazy moment that you get to be heard and to, put yourself in the spotlight and throw everything out there. Mm-hmm. And is kind of emblematic of what we're doing with this EP. And we're like, we're going to fucking go for it. We're going to throw down. We're going to finagle a deal with these guys to do some songs, and we're just going to lay it all out there. We want to be heard, and we're going to make ourselves known. And that's how we're doing it. And that's basically what the song is about. It's almost emblematic of our journey of doing this. Mm-hmm. So it's super. And then, I mean, the lyrics are so well written. Like, you can take a whole bunch of different spins on it, and you're probably right. But that's kind of what our mindset was when coming up with the lyrics for this is we are writing this song for everyone who needs to be heard in whatever way they need to be heard. And that's it.
I have to say, I really like that because I took it in a slightly different approach, but it does sort of hit on that. And I'm reading exactly what I wrote literally this morning when diving deep into this. Meaning, I think, is more of an allegory for the way life seems to be for so many people today. We are consistently dealing with so many different things in like from our jobs that don't pay us nearly enough, money that doesn't go nearly as far as we would have it go, pressures to do things we don't want to do, all in the name of survival in a society today. So we simply keep pushing ourselves to try and get to the point where we feel like we can be ourselves and just enjoy, but in the end, we're essentially killing ourselves just to try and simply exist in the way that society is built today.
You fucking nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yep. Like you took my layman and you expanded on it and fucking brought this English major to the table here.
Mm-hmm.
English major, dude. I majored in economics.
Oh shit! Well, I can't wait to see that then.
Yeah,
that was brilliant.
You nailed it. That makes me really happy that there's some ambiguity in the, but it's not too much ambiguity. It's not like
it's not so ambiguous that you can't connect to it. Mm-hmm. It's like. My definition was fairly basic. You expanded on that and expounded, and that completely.
Well, you nailed it.
Exactly.
You nailed it for our meaning for it.
Yeah.
You could even interpret it as honestly, even relationship adjacent if you wanted to.
But yeah, I mean that's the mindset we were in when we decided to write it. But essentially, the song is about basically what you said. It's survival, trying to be heard, all the shit going on and trying to rise above the noise. Like that's the whole spirit of the song.
It's like trying to be heard for who you guys are, and especially from our standpoint, trying to be heard for who we are, and living in a world where we can actually be that way instead of trying to just follow along with the same old trends or do the exact same things because that's just what's going to give us that continuous push in society. And the reason why I put that out there and like in the way that I put the meaning for myself compared to yours, where you guys, wanting to be heard, me, a little more of the allegory of the way life is, trying just to be yourself in a world where there's so many pressures just to be the norm, is because yes, you guys put the lyrics out there with many references to drive the emotion and drive the meaning towards that space. But as listeners and as music lovers, what we get to do is get to listen to that and have that same emotional drive, but then put our own lives into it and really get that understanding of how our lives are connecting with the song, which is why I went down that route, thinking about how all the stuff I have to do in life currently. How I've been doing this for over 5 years. I've got over 500 episodes of this. I still have a full-time job because this is not making me enough money yet. So that's exactly where it came from, where it's just like, I don't get paid nearly enough. My money doesn't go as far as it used to. And there's pressure to do things that I don't want to do, all in the sake of just trying to keep going and keep this going so I can still be heard, so I can still have my passion, my love still out there. So you guys did it perfectly with the lyrics to drive to that emotion and allowing the listeners to really take that emotion and get a little bit more specific with it based on what's happening in their lives today.
Yeah, it's 100%.
And we could
nailed it.
Yeah. And side note, we can tell you've been doing this a long time. You're really planned out and really good at it. And it's no,
so now we put the producers over. Now we're going to put you over.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. Woo!
Yeah. It's almost like you get used to not gassing yourself up because you're just like ready to be disappointed.
Yeah, when you've been told you suck so many times, like you don't have an ego left.
It's hard to get us. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to get us to talk about the songs I've been so excited about, so I could talk for days about them. But
yeah, these songs we're really excited about the songs we recorded with them and releasing this. And I guess the other thing we failed to bring up, and can we bring it up yet?
What?
The Ghost Killer thing?
Yeah. This is after.
Okay, this is after.
Yeah, this is after.
We signed to Ghost Killer Entertainment, so we that was the other thing. We were like, we want to get these songs. We want to shop labels. We want to find one that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And we found a perfect boutique label for us that it's a pretty sweetheart deal for us. It's very non-invasive and it's very supportive. And they've been great to work with so far and have really been a good team member and bringing stuff together. And they have a huge social media following and we get to utilize that for our release. So we're really excited for that. So
and hopefully it reciprocates and turns into, we want to hold up our end of the deal and because it's still it's a good friend too. It's the owner is a good friend and it's like not like we're going in with some strangers that we don't know if they just want to be.
Yeah, and there's a lot of labels I've noticed out there and we ran into them while shopping where here's a deal, here it is, and I'm looking, I'm like, they're not lifting a finger for any of their bands. They're just collecting bands, like just band collecting, and like a lottery ticket. Like, well, if one of those people do enough work to pop off, well, then we're just gonna take advantage of it, and we make money.
It's like a fucking over glorified CD baby.
Yeah, basically, I'm like, what's your distribution? Oh, we use this. I'm like, I can do that myself. Like, I need a label that has something that I don't have, and that was a big thing of reason why we wanted to label for these songs is because going through DistroKid for us, essentially our experience is like, you can't get on a Spotify playlist just going through DistroKid because there's so many things submitted through there because it's the cheapest way to go. And to give yourself the best chance, you need a next level distributor. And so we were like, if we don't find a label, we're going to pay for a distribution service that's going to be a step up. And luckily we found a label that has a good distribution service. So we're excited about that. So we're like, oh, cool. We actually have a fighting chance to get on a playlist, a Spotify curated playlist finally. So, which has been a huge goal for us as well.
We still haven't had one, but maybe this song.
Maybe this song or maybe one of the next ones. We'll see.
If none of the three get them, I'm going to be like, okay, what do you want from me? Seriously. Yeah. These are good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm pushing this one to my friend at Octane, so we'll see if that ends up helping out in any capacity. But what I was going to put in this one is just going back to Dying to Exist. Again, Jesse, what you brought up, like wanting to be heard and that desire to be heard. But you guys going and shopping around labels and getting on with Ghost Killer and understanding exactly what you guys were looking for, what you guys wanted, what you guys like didn't have that you're hoping that a label had. But the most important thing is Ghost Killer is willing to work with you. They're willing to continue working with you, and they're building something up around you, not just trying to collect money or have you be, the cash cow CD, baby. They've heard you. They're working with you. And they've got a big social media following too, because I know I've talked to them a couple of times on Facebook and Instagram about a couple of things, and I almost ended up, potentially working for them for a couple of times, but nothing ever materialized from that. Nothing on Ghost Killer though. I still like them though. I still love to work with them at time to time. But what I was gonna say, continuing on, is it's a perfect connection point for this song to come out being the first one with Ghost Killer, because they've heard you. They're gonna help other people hear you, and this song's all about being heard and wanting to be shown who you are yourselves, and not letting the rest of society dictate who you are.
Facts. Yeah.
Facts. Yep.
The other thing too, like with these songs and this whole deal that we got and just the videos recorded, now I feel like I can die and be at peace. Like if I get hit by a bus, I'm like, good, I got it out there. Yeah. It's
don't
done.
get hit by a bus just yet, man. We want more good music from you. I don't want to see you get hit by a freaking bus.
Yeah. I mean, we did already do the next video, so I mean, I guess.
Like on the way back from St. Louis after we did the video, I have a side note. I have a bizarre fear of flying, and I fly all the time, and it never gets better. And I was at peace because I'm like, if this plane crashes, I die, I'm good. I just dropped that video. We're fine.
Something that pissed me off about that is, why the fuck did you say that before takeoff? You gave me anxiety.
Oh, sorry about that.
This plane could crash, and I'm good with it. And I'm like, well, I'm fucking not.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah, that was
just as long as it's some music. Okay, how about this? Don't get hit by a bus. Don't have a plane crash. But if you're going to get hit by a bus, just make sure it's part of a music video where we know you're going to be okay.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Dude, we talked about that. We have a song called Happy to Be Here. And we that's going to be way down the road. But we've talked about doing stuff that's like the opposite in the music video. Might not happen. But it's just a concept we thought of. I'm like, what if we put things that are clearly we're not happy to be doing?
Like being on a plane.
Like putting Jesse on a plane and then or putting me at the dentist. like the opposite of what the song is about.
Don't go putting yourself at the dentist, because I ain't going. Then I'm out of here. See you guys. Yeah. No dentist for me.
See, he knows what's up.
I do know what's up. I am not a fan of the dentist at all.
I hate the dentist, dude. And or being at the dentist on a plane. Imagine getting a root canal at 36,000 feet.
Terrifying.
That is the scariest thing of all time.
I'm terrified of a root canal. I just don't want to go to the dentist. I'm just like, I got a vendetta against them.
I was so afraid to get my wisdom teeth pulled out. I just stopped going to the dentist for like 7 years, and then finally I'm like, I have to go. So I went. Still 0 cavities. Very happy.
Get fucked.
My entire life, 0 cavities.
Don't worry, man. The last time I went to the dentist was in the before time, in the long ago. Just basically before COVID.
Long ago.
In the before time.
The dark ages.
Time in the long ago. But I do need to bring this one piece up about Dying to Exist that you did mention, was you want to have a song constructed to be the perfect opener for the band, to really not only get people into, but the perfect opener for a live show. So when it came to creating this one, let's let the people know, how did you guys create that to make this one the prime opener for the band?
We sat in a living room for 6 hours.
Yeah, sat in a living room and this living room studio that is in Nashville. Like every house has a fucking giant studio, apparently.
Yeah,
it's like we went to like a couple different studios and houses that are just massive.
I'm like, is every house here a fucking studio? Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, we sat there. We're like, we want this kind of this medium to high dynamic song, to just have a big open to it, have the low notes hard. And the guitar, we had a guitar riff for that song for the verse. That's how the song started. Is our guitar player had this like kind of polyphia, like that's still in the song. But Bale's like, we're gonna put some effects on this shit and just fucking make
it was like a Tim Henson like. You could hear it, but now it's got like the what's it called, tremolo. So now it's got
it's cool. And but like, so we had that coming in, so we knew the key of the song we wanted to do. And
did we work towards the chorus first, or did
we started the chorus basically first, and then we just kind of kept in mind we wanted this thing to be stabby, punchy, and hit you in the face as soon as it starts. And so then that was kind of what we had in the back of our mind. And as we had the chorus, we got the verses put together, we worked our way back to the intro.
And then Bayless was like fucking with the pitchfork.
Yeah,
I think it was the pitchfork, and then it was like the guitar sounded like.
Yeah, it was wild, and we're just loving every minute of it. Like, oh, this is cool. Every minute longer was just something else would develop, and it was just.
I love how much shouting there was for that. Like, oh, do this or oh, do that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it was stuff that he was already thinking.
And I was trying to moderate everybody. I'm like, guys, let the man cook. He's onto something.
Yeah.
He's onto something. Okay, we like that. Let's go here. Okay.
Keep
Kyle,
cooking, man. Just keep cooking, man.
Yeah. There's lots of stupid gestures. Like I remember in the intro, like I had yelled something. I'm like, oh, do a puka puka puka, and then it got in there. And he was like, I was gonna do that anyway, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the other thing too is one of the guys who helped us with the songwriting was named Danny P. He was a country songwriter, and I'm not a fan of country. In fact, I've had a vendetta against country my entire life. After working with him, I had a whole new respect for country. Like the way he helped bring out the lyrics and the meanings and kind of help emphasize the points. I'm like, man, this is poetic on a level I've never been on before. This is what country's doing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I thought it was all about like, line dancing and, Conway Twitty or whatever the hell.
Dude, he helped make it like specific. Yeah, like not dumbed down.
Yeah,
like it was like
simplifying
and intelligently simplifying.
Yeah, he was really kind of like I told him about like when I was telling him this is what I'm trying to go for this for lyrics, and it was kind of based off of what Kristen Sturgis was talking about with me. She's like, you want to make it relatable. There's a little bit of room for abstractness here, but here you want to kind of drive the point. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. And we're just working and talking about the song, and he really just helped make these lyrics grow and mature into what they are. So shout out to Danny P.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Great dude.
Actually, I want to know if you've heard this before. I often wonder, we learned that rock has a tendency to get a little bit too abstract sometimes. And in this experience, we really dialed that back and made sure we weren't getting too metaphorical and just like, I don't know if you've heard that before, but that's what I took out of the.
It's like sometimes rock songs are just about nothing, and they really rely on the listener to like work for the meaning. And we did the opposite this time, basically.
I'll say I've never really heard that, but it does make a lot of sense, just given the fact that it's like if I bring on like more metal artists, it seems like when it comes to the lyrics, I'm able to really pick up on exactly what they were going for. So the metaphors are there, but the lyrics kind of really drive the point home a little bit more specifically. When it comes to some more of the rock artists, especially some more of the popular ones, it gets tough to really understand where they're coming from, because either they get too specific where you're just driving forward so heavily on one specific topic or one specific story where there's no real room for ambiguity. And unless you were there specifically at that point in time, it's really hard to connect with it, which is what I think about like Nickelback. A lot of times they've done that where the lyrics are very specific, where it's like, okay, if you weren't a part of that, then you're not really relate to it. Think about Photograph, like what the hell is on Joey's head? I'm like, I don't know who your friend Joey is, man. Like, yeah, I'm not able to relate exactly to that when you get that specific. But there are a lot of artists in rock, especially when you get to more the progressive side of things, where they get so abstract, where I look at this, I'm like, I don't want to, I'm looking at like a Jackson Pollock painting. Like, I don't know what the point was. You just splattered this everywhere.
Yeah.
You need to find and toe that line between being abstract and being more metaphorical to allow enough abstractness to come in to let the listener put their own lives in there to really form the idea. But you need to be specific enough in your metaphors to continue to drive the emotional point home that you're going for. Where in country music, I think that's what he was going for, where it's like the way they sounded out and the way a lot of those things are come out, especially in more classic country, not bro country. Bro country is just straightforward, just wings, beer, truck, chicks, trucks, beer. Yeah.
That's what all country's like.
Yeah, but when it comes to like, you're thinking about like Johnny Cash, you're thinking about Conway. It's like you're thinking about some of that stuff. It's more driven to the point, but you can also really put yourself into it the way it's, the way it's emphasized, the way everything is talked about. Listen to Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. Like, god damn. Like,
that's a good
perfect.
One.
That's like a perfect example of like that lyrical style.
That fucking like steel guitar, I just shut off. I'm like, no. But yeah, that dude really kind of opened my eyes to the different perspective on lyrics and country in general. So
they do get descriptive.
Yeah, I still probably not gonna listen to any country, but I don't hate it.
No, but it's not about listening to country. What it's about is being open to the ideas that other genres of music are using and other concepts that they're using to see how you can better your music with those, to pull out those ideas, to pull out those sounds, to pull out those different intricacies in a song that are really going to make that stand out. Maybe you put something in there like what you guys did with Die to Exist, where especially as you open up, it has that lower produced sound, but it's like an epic like tap on like a production pad to rapid that pace up. Then it turns that newer, more constructed metalcore sound, has that consistent drive to it. But there's a lot of programmatic distortion in there that kind of gives people a callback to that Linkin Park feel. But in my mind, I'm like, it was needed because it gives that energy as an opener, but it also gives us that feeling of like a distorted world where nothing is exactly as it seems, given the fact that it's very produced at times, but you're still hearing that heavier backing in there. And they're contrasting up where you're seeing two different worlds kind of come together where you want to be heard and what you're feeling like you have to do in order just to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, can you be our PR person? Holy shit!
You're not the first person to ask that. And you're definitely not going to be the last. Like,
we're going to write a press release for this song.
Honestly, like if someone's willing to pay me to start doing this stuff, I can start writing press releases for bands as long as one, I'm able to do this, and two, it still gives me enough money to live, and I do not have to be at my full-time job anymore. That would be fucking awesome.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. I wish I was in that position where I could just like get people out of work in their jobs, because it's like I'd feel for it, like I was there for so long. I just want to help out bros get out of that situation.
I guess that's another thing too. So we all have full-time jobs, and we all work while we're on tour, and we all have, they're generally remote jobs we all have, or we all have at different times, and so it's like we just work during the day, and then we go to the show and play, and I'm on a Zoom call in the morning in a hotel talking to some, facility director someplace and going from there. And yeah, Kyle, he's in IT, and so he's always on different conference calls, like in the car while we're driving. And
I love how he had the green screen on to cover it up.
Oh yeah, he had the green screen on to cover it up, but like my face, like when he was kind of moving, so he's just like just.
So finally somebody's like, are you in the car?
He's like, no.
Are you driving? No, I am not driving.
He wasn't, because somebody else was driving the car.
Somebody else was driving the car. But like, can you imagine being on a Zoom call?
My head would come into the green screen randomly.
Yeah.
On the side. It was hilarious.
It'd be like the side of my face too.
See, for me in the professional setting, I love when the Zoom calls, Microsoft Team calls happen like that, because it's just like you're letting life happen to the situation. It's different. It's fun. It's also hysterical too whenever I get on like Teams calls or whatnot, and everyone has like the same like, oh, this is like the standard background. It just looks like the same office, and then you see me hop on, and then there's this. Like, it's like, okay, what's it? Is those skate decks? Is that what is Dark Bloom? Was that a band or something? I'm like, and then I turn my camera on. There's a big giant like falling in reverse like banner over there with a Day to Remember poster next to it. It's like, is that really professional? Like, it's more interesting than what you guys got going on.
Yeah, you got your fucking blue, your green screen ass like Microsoft background shit.
God, I remember having to sell a $800,000 deal in the back of a broken down RV on our first tour.
A what? Oh, at your job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I had to jump in a meeting and sell this job, and it was like the final meeting for it. And we broke down, and we had to stay in a motel, and on my computer, everything was in the back of this fucking RV. So I just went back there and just closed the deal. Like had the green screen up and all this shit.
You had the green screen?
Oh yeah,
dude, your office is sick though. I would do a green screen of your office.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep.
Should I just honestly I should just like take a picture of it and then just send you. It's like, yep, this is my office now. It's the green screen. Got all the cool shit: skate decks, flag, banner. Wait,
the very
flowers.
Dude, and then the very next time we chat, I'll have the green screen of your office, and then
like, oh hey, didn't see you there.
Oh hey,
and I'll still be sitting here in this exact area and be like, yep. And literally, maybe the only thing that'll change is, well, the whiteboard here will have different stuff written on it for sure, but new flowers.
I can't read it from here, so it's not like I could.
It says the failsafe right there, or that says the food safe.
That says the failsafe.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely on there. Well, guys, I know we're starting to run up on some time, so there is one more major question I need to ask you, gentlemen, and it's something that I love asking people because it allows not only us to get to know more new music, but we also get to know the stuff that you love. So I have to limit this to 3 total between the two of you. Can you guys give me 3 bands or artists that you absolutely love that you would love to see more people get into?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard decision.
Oh, it can't be a big band, then it has to be.
Oh, okay.
If it's a band like your size or like smaller, or even if it's a little bit bigger, and you want to get like, yeah, we want these people to get more well known. We love them.
Absolutely, Savage Hands.
Fuck, he took mine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Savage fucking Hands. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my god, you took mine.
You could say Archers too.
No, they got enough press. They're out on the show.
Not only that, but like Archers is like the second most mentioned band when it comes to this segment. Second most. And that's how I actually brought them onto the podcast, because people kept mentioning them.
I mean, just Take the Name.
Yeah, Take the Name. Actually, that's a really good one. Yeah, Take the Name. Tyler, he's the singer and one of the songwriters in that band, and he is such a killer voice. He's always grinding it, and he's up in Pennsylvania just killing it. So him definitely.
They just got signed too.
Yeah,
they got a little deal.
Hell yeah,
that's exciting.
Trying to think of another good one here that I would like to recommend.
Because the Archers one didn't count.
Yeah, that's fine. Your Archers, Savage Hands. Okay, I'll mention one more here. Right. And this dude is he's a favorite of I like him, but Devin really likes him. Miles. YUNO Miles. Look him up. Look him up.
I can't believe you said that.
What?
I'm more inclined to look them up right now because of Devin's reaction. Like, that makes me want to be like, I want to know, why the hell are you laughing so hard? And is it going to be something like the guy that does the big band swing songs of heavy metal tunes, like the big band swing version of Down with the Sickness? Is that what I'm getting myself into?
Oh, this dude's like
a rapper.
He's a younger rapper. He's got like a $15 microphone and like a $100 computer, and he mainly raps about like how he like doesn't like his grandma and like it's Martin Luther King. His new song William Shakespeare, that was kind of wild.
It's so bad that it's hilarious.
It kind of it goes all the way around the meter to like brilliant.
It's so god awful that it's genius.
It's like a cult classic movie where it's like, this is just the worst thing ever, but that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, our girlfriends hate it when we listen to Miles.
Yeah,
for sure.
They have none of Miles. They have no time for him.
I remember they were like on the way back from Nashville. I remember we were trying to play Miles.
Oh yeah, they were having none of it.
Your wife was not having it.
Yeah, his family diss track where he just went off on his family about how his mom like stole Doritos from the store and all this stuff. Like, it was wild.
And the robbing a gas station.
Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta listen to this
over and over. I was like, me and Jesse are gonna rob a gas station.
The dude's brilliant, and he's like got these like little videos on Instagram, and oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
He does not need more recognition though.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't do a thing except write stupid songs and get massive numbers.
He got kicked out of his house because he kept singing songs.
It's just funny.
It's fucking brilliant. It's great.
What I would love to see you guys do at one point in time, but the two of you, if you're with your girlfriend's wives, go to a gas station. Both of you guys get out, go inside after listening to Miles, and about the song where his mom stole the Doritos, and then just tell the gas station, like the guy at the counter, be like, hey, we'll pay for this stuff, but we're just gonna run out like we stole something just to freak our ladies out, and just do it. So just run out, like, and all of a sudden, just like if they're freaking out, just like go.
Dude, you should run back out and get in the back seat and say drive.
Yeah, it's like, holy I drank a slushie and didn't even pay for it.
You're driving. It'd be funny.
We gotta do that. That's brilliant.
All in the name of my.
But those are probably and I guess one more honorable mention. I know I mentioned a couple. This is a serious one. One of my main influences coming up and doing my thing is a band called Inner Party System. They're not around anymore. They came out with one album, one EP. The album changed me musically. It was kind of like when they came out, it was kind of like 303, I think that was the name of them, but it was like dark and it was about serious shit and it was really fucking good. And I think like their members now are like in 303 ironically, but their singer, he met this chick and I think he just met some chick and he was just done with music after a while and just lived in California and that was it.
Settled down.
Yeah. But Inner Party System, all one word. They're fucking sick.
Those are some good suggestions, guys, and also throw in the Archers suggestion as well, just because it's Archers. They're a staple when it comes to this segment of the show, and always got to plug them. Even they've been on the show
Wisconsin boys,
Exactly. Got to keep plugging away, baby. Oh, yeah. Well, guys, as we bring this episode to conclusion, one thing I'd like to do is give you guys a chance to say whatever you want to say, plug what you're going to plug, promote your report at the end of the episode. So the guys from the Failsafe, the floor is yours.
Yes. Dying to Exist. It's going to be out by the time you hear this, so check out our website, www.wearethefailsafe.com. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, everything.
The video is really awesome. We had a really good time shooting that video. Make sure you watch the video, get the most out of the song, get it added to your playlist, whatever you got to do. Every little thing helps. We have to work for this stuff. So hitting a like on any platform, hitting a like, commenting, that's one less dollar we have to spend on advertising.
Yeah, seriously. So, and, come out to a show if we're in your area. And if you can't, click the like button on a post or just check us out. We'd appreciate it. For sure.
I'll say the social media engagement will go a long way, as the algorithm states. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, every little bit counts with that stuff.
Hell yeah.
So social media is really difficult, but people doing that and interacting with us makes it a lot easier and saves us money, to be honest with you.
And helps get you guys close to the point where you can do this full time and don't have to broker deals from the back of a broken down RV with a green screen that shakes every time and having to use potentially this background that I have naturally as your green screen. But as I close this out, I got to bring up three things. First things first, when these guys have told you about where to find them, where to support them, where to listen to music, where to listen to Dying to Exist, watch the video, potentially where to see him play a live show, and where to like them on like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the TikTok, on Spotify, add to the playlist and stuff. I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you guys. During when they were saying that, you saw me pointing down during the video, because go to the script for the podcast below where it says find the Failsafe online. Links, labels for everything are going to be there. So you have no reason not to get into this stuff. I am doing all the hard work for you. I am your own personal Google here, people. I'm doing all the hard work. All you got to do is click the link and like this stuff. That is my thing I'm telling you guys to do. Also listen to Dying to Exist. So yeah. Now it's time for number 2. Gentlemen, whenever you guys on the podcast or join the podcast, I tend to make a certain promise as a way to say, hey, thank you guys for being on the podcast. I really enjoy this, and I wish to continue to support you in the future. You guys hit on this. So, promise is this. When implies this is going to happen, day or time, we just don't know yet. When I get to see you from live for the first time, I'm going to go all Liam Neeson from Taken on your ass as I will look for you. I will pursue you. I will find you. I'll say hi, and first round's on me.
Dealio.
Then the next two are on me.
That is a dealio, sir. I will take that. That's a 2-for-1 for me, baby. But I'm probably like, I'll be like, oh yeah, what do you guys want? Shot a Sincora. I'll be like, fuck you, dude.
The finest scotch.
The finest.
Aged 40 years.
Indubitably. And you had to be smoking a pipe at that point in time. Your finest scotch, please.
We don't have to do rails. It doesn't have to be cheap. It'll be a nice one. We'll get you.
No, we ain't doing rail gin on this one. Or no. And I'm not from Chicago, so no Malort either.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm pretty sure we'll have drink tickets, so we'll use them on something nice.
Yeah,
Something
and then we'll just, start drinking stuff here like Milwaukee's Best or Hams or
yeah.
we might get fancy and get the champagne of beers.
Oh, shit.
Miller High Life?
Yeah, baby.
I like those. Those are good.
We'll make it worth it. That'll be the best way to put it. But guys, now it's time for number 3. Is I cannot end this podcast by saying goodbye. This was a shit ton of fun. I want to thank you guys for reaching out as well. And let's make sure that this is not the only time you appear on the Chord Progression Podcast. I would love to have you gentlemen back once again in the future. So
love to be back. Absolutely.
This can't be goodbye, guys. This is. I'll see you later.
See you later.
Deuces.
Well, folks, with my interview with the guys from the Failsafe, now it's time for Kevin's final thoughts. So, there's a lot of positive thoughts from this one, but the main thing is if you are an emerging band or a small band or you want to make it to the big time, it's going to be worth it to take the chance to work with a producer that has a lot of positivity behind them for this main reason. And the main reason is because you never know what you might learn from them. It's going to be a great educational experience from working in music, creating music, everything around there to make sure that you're making the best music possible, and potentially you're going to be making something that's even better because these producers have this reputation for a reason. They're able to pull out the best and the brightest from these great bands that you may never have heard about, just to really show exactly who they are, why they're so great, and to keep the positivity rolling. Therefore, as time continues to roll on, you're going to be able to learn a couple things about production, about songwriting, about your songwriting ability. You're going to learn things about other genres and why certain things work and what you can put in your music as well. And if it's a bad experience, you're going to learn exactly what a bad experience is like. You're going to be thinking about dollars and not pennies at that point. So I highly suggest going and do it, and the Failsafe are a great example of why you should go and do it. So make sure you go check them out. Make sure you check out Dying to Exist. Go to link strip for the podcast where everything is there for you to check out with the Failsafe. Do not miss out on them. I implore you to. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Chord Progression Podcast right down here, as we have new episodes every single Tuesday and Thursday. We also have reactions every single Friday as well. Hit the like button right down here. Help push us in the algorithm. We also are online. It's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links in the description below as well. If you're on Spotify podcast, perfect. Hit follow on there. Hit subscribe on there, and like the episode as well. Help push us in the algorithm. Thank you, gentlemen. This will not be your last time in the Chord Progression Podcast. This was too much fun. So on that note, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one with big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Yeah.